Social media is so sus, it's hurting my brain. And it's hurting yours, too. In this episode of Honestly, we're gonna dive into social media head first, down the stream. Scroll all the way down and see what's poppin'. Because the thing is, it's an interesting topic. We'll dive into history, we'll dive into what happened, why it happened, and why are we in a world where everybody's addicted to social media, specifically young people and men, and is there anything we could do about it? So, in the early 2000s, the social media it sounded quite good actually. Like if you think about it, right? The whole premise was we're going to connect people, we're going to make the world smaller, we're going to allow people to connect with absolutely everyone and anyone everywhere. And at the time, it was a groundbreaking idea. I mean, let's be honest. Internet was a groundbreaking idea. The fact that you could click a few buttons and connect with someone that is across the ocean and you didn't have to like call a number or whatever, that's kind of cool. And it all started pretty much with MySpace. I don't really remember MySpace because I was very young back then, but what I do remember that it was kind of cool. It was just pretty much this like MySpace where you could create your custom page, you could have your I think it was top 8 or top 5 friends, and funny thing is that any one of those friends could be like, so why is it I am not number 1? Why is it that I'm not number 1 on your list? It was genuinely fun. It created real human connections, it created real excitement. And then the Facebook came in. I think that was in I want to say 2004, 2005, around that time. And the Facebook, that's what it was called initially, with the. The idea was, we're going to connect college students from across different schools, across different places, and help them connect, which is, again, an amazing idea because at the time, nothing like that existed. Nothing like that existed. Oh, side note, Facebook was also used in a very derogatory way to grade people on their looks, whether they're hot or not, specifically women. So misogyny was always baked into all of this. Just making sure you're aware of that. You have to recognize that it's also a business. It's not just charity. And Facebook grew. It hired a lot of people. And those people were like, hey, we've got to start making money. How do we do that? One of the first things that was implemented that led to money-making machine that Facebook is today was the like button. You could like a post. You could be like, oh, I like what you posted. I like what you posted. And that was essentially how it all started, right? From a stage of connecting people and being this communication service, it became a grade service. It became a place where the users started training the algorithm about what is it that they like, what is it they don't like, when do they like it, what time do they like it, all those good things, And then people at Facebook were also like, wait, but people could reach the end of their For You page. Can you imagine being able to scroll down and be like, oh, that's it. You've seen everything. Unbelievable that even existed. So they got rid of it promptly because they were like, well, we want to keep people on our platform forever. So they got rid of it. There is no end to your For You page or news feed, whatever you call it, right? That's how it all started. These companies started creating designs and functionalities and features that were created with one goal in mind: to keep you on that platform for as long as possible, if not forever. And I mean, it's up to you to decide whether they have succeeded or not. I think they kind of have succeeded, which is crazy. It was designed that way, like any other, substance would be. So why didn't anyone stop this? Why didn't anyone was like, oh my God, this is terrible. What should we do about it? And people tried. The governments have tried to do their best, but again, you have to recognize the fact that it was being all these legislations were written back when internet was still used by 10 people or whatever, you know. One of the first pieces of legislations that came out was Section 230 in 1996, a long ass time ago, isn't it? That Section 230 essentially was like, hey, it was actually a part of a bigger legislation, but this is one of the most pivotal things that really, really messed everything up down the line. Because Section 230 was like, hey, you're a website. You're not a publisher. You're a host. You simply host that information on your website, right? That allowed all of these platforms to not be liable for what is being posted on those platforms. So, for example, if John Doe goes onto Facebook and posts yada, 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 and that yada, yada, yada seems to be really bad, Facebook is not going to be liable because Facebook is going to be like, well, John Doe posted this, not us. And at the time, the idea was, to help internet and help all these platforms to really, find its place, find its footing, things of that nature. But also the courts started interpreting this way too broadly, essentially creating a free-for-all for these platforms, creating this kind of a blanket protection and lack of liability. Can you imagine you are a restaurant and you create dishes, your chef creates dishes, and someone gets poisoned by that dish, and the restaurant is like, well, we're not liable, it's the chef. In reality, it would be the chef and the restaurant liable, right? Not with social media. It would be only the chef. And then another piece of legislation was COPPA, Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which was, I think, enacted in 2000. And that piece of legislation was designed with one goal in mind: to create a framework that would prevent social media companies from harvesting data on children. We would have been living in a much worse world right now if not for that piece of legislation. And in fact, the enforcement of a bunch of these legislations came in kind of later, I think it was FTC that was kind of like, hey, Facebook, you are harvesting way too much data, all those good things, well, bad things. And in 2019, after Cambridge Analytica, after a bunch of the massive scandals that these social media companies went through, enforcement kicked in. And Facebook was fined $5 billion, which is nothing for Facebook. It's literally a penny in the back pocket of their couch. They were fined this amount of money, and they were slapped with a 20-year privacy regulation compliance kind of thing that they would have to follow. But the thing is, none of these legislations ever addressed the design. So, and also again, the enforcement itself of these legislations kind of came in kind of late, let's be honest, because a whole generation of people was brought up already in that environment where people got addicted. And that led to really bad problems with our brains. Let's start with mental health. Mental health, out the window. Out the window. There is so much research that confirms that a lot of people, especially young people, I think it's 95% of young teens were like, yeah, we use social media very, very often. And then two-thirds of these teens were like, yeah, we use it constantly. I don't know what constantly means to you, but I am sure that is way more often than just often, right? And according to some other research, it's also 46% of teens that say that they use it from day in, day out. I need to scroll and get this information. And that information that they see, because it was curated by an algorithm that keeps you siloed, it keeps you in a tunnel. You don't get to see what's outside of this tunnel. You only get to see what you like, what you think you like, right? That led to a lot of problems like depression, anxiety, lack of sleep, non-existent focus. People don't focus anymore. Even myself, it's quite difficult for me to finish a movie in one sitting. And I blame social media for that. There was this huge cohort of studies that looked at 12,000 children ranging from like 9 years and onward. And this study was basically like, look, we can tell that the social media, when the usage of social media goes up, the rates of depression go up, and by a lot. And well, not funny, but funny thing is, it seems to be one directional, meaning it's not like a person who is already depressed goes on social media and is like, I feel better now. It's actually the opposite. It's a person who might feel good or neutral about themselves, goes on social media, spends time there, and acquires depression. One analysis from UCSF, I think it's the San Francisco, California University, was like, hey, so we've tested, we see that the usage went from 7 minutes to like 73 minutes constantly, and the depression rates skyrocketed. And again, none of these companies are held liable for any of this. People acquire anxiety, people don't sleep well, people start thinking a lot of things about themselves that are not true but are bad. Like even myself, I remember seeing a lot of social media posts from friends or creators that I follow, and I'm like, wow, they all live such perfect lives, such beautiful lives, and yada yada yada, when in reality it's all fake. It's just a stage. It's just not reality. It's curated. And in fact, this is curated, right? What you're seeing right now is curated. I've had a script that I'm following. I have my camera set up. I'm hoping that the view is not bad, things like that, right? It's all curated for your entertainment. But also, again, my show is I hope to be educating as well in some ways. For men, a lot of body dysmorphia happened, especially young men, like young kids. They see all these bodybuilders left and right and being like, oh, well, I'm not strong enough, and blah, 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 because a lot of bullying also happens, right? Other guys pick on other guys, being like, oh, you're weak or whatever. So then they go into this hyper masculinity manosphere, and then they become massive, not smart people. And I don't blame them, because so many people fall for this out of desperation, right? Out of being like, well, they don't feel worthy enough of themselves. They don't feel worthy of being, whatever that may be. When in reality, it's just a reinforced cycle that they are stuck in, because they will live in a algorithm that, again, as I said, force feeds us the same stuff that we like, but in reality, it's not exactly what we like. People started losing their focus, like I said, right? I can't even finish a movie in one sitting because, you get constant dopamine at all times, all the time, every day, every moment, nonstop. That is legitimately bollocks, and that is why our brains are like, oh, we need to go into the social media because it's gonna make me feel good, make me feel better, yada yada yada. But our brains are not designed for that. In fact, I don't know if y'all know, but our brains and our bodies really stop developing at around age 25. So think about everything before that. Let's say you are 13 and you're signing up for Facebook. Your brain is not ready for this shit. It's not. Your brain is supposed to develop on its own. You're supposed to develop in real life, with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones, with your schoolmates, whomever that may be. Because that's how you learn what reality is. But now, a lot of young people, especially kids, they're like, yeah, we see these online connections as actual human connection. That is crazy. And it shouldn't be this way. And I think right now, the world has started seeing that. There is this fascinating graph that shows that majority of people across all of continents are reducing their social media consumption because people are catching up to the fact that this is not healthy. But what continent is not dropping social media? North America. We're not dropping social media. We're too addicted. And on top of all of that, there is AI. 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 AI is not actually intelligent. By the way, it cannot create anything truly unique. It cannot actually be like us. Well, not yet. Well. So, but AI is now already so embedded in social media, right? There is Sora, there is Meta AI, all those kinds of things with what you can create content at speeds never seen before. Never seen before. It's crazy. Social media right now has more tools to get you addicted, more than ever before. And AI that they are embedding into these platforms will learn so much more about you and will create even more hyper targeted, hyper customized content that will get you hooked. So, really keep that in mind. Really keep that in mind. Because there are a lot of things that you could do to help yourself, if you choose to, of course. One of those things is friction. It did help me quite a lot. For example, I used to have these times where I would literally wake up, I would open my phone and start, consuming social media content like it's nothing at all times, nonstop. Like I would waste hours of my day and be like, whoa, like think about it for a second. Had you not wasted all of those hours doom scrolling, what would you have achieved so much? Think about it, right? So now there's this mission. There's this thing that you can do to help yourself. You can delete those apps from your phone. You can delete it. It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead. Find your TikTok, find your Instagram, your Twitter, Threads, whatever that may be. Press and hold, delete. And when you want to come back to it, download it again, log in again. This friction will reduce this impulsiveness, this impulsive desire to consume content. Another trick that some people swear by is grayscaling your phone, making it look like a black and white photo. To each his own. I don't like it, but it might help you. Try everything. Another thing, notifications off. And literally go into your settings, to your notification section, and select each and every one of those apps and be like, I don't want notifications. Because why do you need notifications from Domino's Pizza? Or why do you need notifications from Instagram at all times? You don't need that. Switch it all off. Only allow, like in my case, I only allow notifications from my family, from my friends, like text messages, and that's it. Not even WhatsApp or whatever. I don't allow notifications from any other apps except weather, messages, and phone calls. The rest is up to me. And that's the goal. The goal is for you to reclaim that power, reclaim that ability to control your life. You have the power to do it. And honestly, start tracking your progress. You have to feel good and you have to reward yourself for these things, right? For example, be like, I was off social media for a day. How do I feel? I feel X, Y, and Z. I was off social media for 2 days. How do I feel? X, Y, and Z. You will notice that you will feel better about yourself. You will notice that you will sleep better. You will notice that you will hear better. You will be open to other opinions and you will crave actual physical human connection. And at the end of the day, that's what we really need to remember. We are biological creatures. We are not robots. We are not any of that stuff. We are biological creatures that were not designed to be addicted to something like social media. And we are the most powerful creatures this planet has ever seen. And that includes you, and that includes you, and that includes me. So you have the power to really control this. Do not sell your brain. Your brain is not for sale. It's not for those companies. It is for you. Your heart is for you. Your mind and soul is for you. Do not waste it on social media. Pick up a hobby. Do something creative. Do something for yourself. Enjoy your life. Don't sell your brain for Facebook and all these addictive thingies and unrealistic thingies. Most of what you see online, by the way, actually half of what you see online is no longer created by humans. Literally, humans no longer create what you see online. It's AI, it's bots, it's all of that. So if you think about it and you really understand it, you'll be like, wait, social media is really sus. It's trash. But it can be useful because it also has created opportunities for so many. It has created a whole creator economy, gig economy, all those good things that have empowered people across the world to be more creative, more unique, more interesting. It has empowered people to be in touch with with their own selves. But unfortunately, that's a minority of people. Majority of people are just addicted to social media and have no control over it. But the thing is, you do have control, and it's easy. Just exit this app, delete it, and only re-download it when you really need it, and be aware of the fact that you have a purpose for that app, right? Maybe connect with your friend, check on your family, whatever that may be, and then instantly delete it. And then relog in, relog in, relog in. Anyway, this has been me, Sheik Shot. It's been fun discussing social media with you. What are y'all thoughts about it? What do you think? Has social media helped any one of you in any way, shape, or form? If so, I would love to know, because I would like to get to know all of you and understand you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.